timed release of 2 big bills. This is the United States of Phil. Chill, give her a pill. I got 2 big bills, the electric bill. I got 2 big bills, the internet bill. 2 big bills. Chill, give her a pill. I got 2 big bills, the electric bill. I got 2 big bills, the internet bill. I got 2 big bills. I got 2 big bills. I got 2 big bills. I got 2 big bills, 2 big bills. Squeeze the peel in my mouth. Tasty banana in my mouth. I need banana in my mouth. Tasty banana, it comes in denim. Squeeze the banana. Squeeze the banana. Squeeze the banana in my mouth. Squeeze the banana. Squeeze the banana. Squeeze the banana. Put banana in my yum yum. Tastes like cum. Robust, shove it in my butt. Tangy zip, safe to swallow. Tip. Yummy. Thanks for the money, gummies. It looks so funny. Squeeze the peel. Why are you guys talking about tasty banana song? Squeeze the banana. Squeeze the banana. Squeeze the banana. Tasty banana. Squeeze the banana. Squeeze the banana. Squeeze the banana. Put banana in my mouth. I need yum yum. Squeeze in my mouth. I need squeeze the peel. I need in my mouth. I need yummy. Squeeze the peel. Squeeze the banana. Squeeze the banana. Squeeze the banana. Tasty banana. Squeeze the banana. Squeeze the banana. Squeeze the banana. It comes in denim.
I would sing the banana song right now, but I don't know the banana song. I legit don't know it. What is the banana song? I don't know how it goes. I would totally sing it right now because it's actually pertinent, but I don't know how it goes.
Meerkat Mall. Who? Let me tell you something, brother. When I hold a man's penis, I tell you what I do. I hold on to it tight, brother. Because if that penis is vodka to Philip, woo, that's how it happens. Meerkat Mall. Who? I need my boyfriend. Please, spread your legs, dog. Suck my ass, please. Please. Dog, I'm not a good dog. I'm a good sissified boy. Effeminate men, spread your cheek. They all soft. Dog, I need my boyfriend. Please, spread your leg, dog. Suck my ass, please. Please. Dog. Philip came in from his office with a moist beard, and he rang out his sweat ring stained shirt. I maneuvered myself over to him and I said, Phil, let me handle the memberships for you. Dog. I'm not a good dog. I need my boyfriend. Please, spread your leg, dog. Suck my ass, please. Please. Dog. I need my boyfriend. Please, laying on your back, dog. Suck everybody for the 1K. We finally made it. We did it, and it could not have happened without you guys.
Why do you think you don't have a kid but you have Jasper and he's your son? He's not technically my son, he's my pet cat, but I do think of him as my son. Jasper's ready. Jasper's excited.
I basically kind of drift back into a half sleep. I hear my wife talking to Jasper. He goes, "Oh, Jasper, I can't believe you just did that."
Oh, shit.
And I'm literally walking out the door to get to work. You know, I hope Phil sees that when he wakes up.
Cut.
I start hearing whoop, 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 whoop. He decided to barf everywhere. He barfed on the comforter, whoop, 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 on our bed.
Cut.
And then he did it multiple places throughout the house.
It just freaks me out.
It's not just one or two, it's probably all over. And I was right. Like, I basically had to go on a fucking vomit scavenger hunt this morning. It's very disgusting. I think it was, 3 places where I found hairballs, and one place it was just a little bit of, like, spit. The whole comforter has a giant fucking stain there and vomit. Like, oh, God. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Immediate disaster. Vomit everywhere. And how badly will the vomit be? Up in the air. Up in the air.
Hello, Jasper. Pretty darkness.
Up in the air. What's she gonna do? Stop everything to clean up vomit when she's already on the way out the door?
Cut. Not at all.
Of course not. Whoop, whoop. One look at it, he looks at me. He looks back down at it, he looks at me. Like, what is this shit? What is that? Where's my fish?
Of course I'm smart.
Chicken's for plebeians. I'm a sophisticated cat. I demand fish. Jasper Kitty, I'm sorry. I don't have the fish today. I'm really sorry. Tomorrow's the day off. I'm gonna try to get you more.
Yeah, I'm gonna remember that. I already forgot it. Cut.
Jasper Kitty! Immediate disaster. Vomit everywhere. And how badly will the vomit be? Up in the air. Jasper Kitty! Immediate disaster. Vomit everywhere. And how badly will the vomit be? Up in the air. In Jasper's water dish, just completely wipe it out from top to bottom, rinse it all off.
Never.
If you don't, it grows mold. It's disgusting. It really is gross. This fucking pink-ass mold grows in it. I'm trying to get some extra sleep. What you gonna do? Stop everything to clean up?
No.
Of course not.
Duh.
When she's already on the way out the door?
You're an awful person.
When she's already on the way out the door? Out the door? Out the door? Out the door? Out the door?
No.
Out the door? Out the door? I start hearing whoop, 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 whoop.
No.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
No. I'm done.
I start hearing whoop, 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 whoop. Jasper Kitty! Immediate disaster. Vomit everywhere. And how badly will the vomit be? Up in the air. Jasper Kitty! Immediate disaster. Vomit everywhere. And how badly will the vomit be? Up in the air.
I think Jasper's a dark side cat. He is totally in on the dark side. Jasper, you're a nut. No, I don't bite Jasper's phone, you disgusting freak. Don't ask me stupid questions like that, you freak.
Lost all my subscribers.
Ha! Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Decepticon set his alarm, and he's up. He's here. Hello, Decepticon. Oh, you know what? I don't think you're coming into OBS. This is a disaster stream. I just realized. I thought I put you in. Hold on. Start slandering people, and then they'll hear it when you're in OBS. Just keep talking, so I know which one is you. Okay, I got it.
Thunder, you made that list. Congratulations.
Oh, okay.
Woo!
He's in. You're in.
Okay.
So actually, I think the only person you hated that they just heard was Lord Thunder. So unless you want to start again with your list of hate, Decepticon has a list of hate.
No, I guess they'll be surprised when it comes out.
Oh, you're gonna release it? Okay.
Yeah, it's going to get published. New York Times,
It's going to get published. Well, thank you for coming, everybody. We really appreciate it. We can start the stream officially because something already went wrong. So Phil watched Barbarian and Halloween Kills. The Barbarian review which I would like to point out to everybody, some of you have probably seen it, is 8 minutes and 21 minutes. 8 minutes and 21 seconds long. So let's get into it, boys.
God. Let's get it.
Okay, it's playing. I can never tell if his shit is playing because this screen lingers up for way too long.
Personally, I think it's pretty good. 2 intros. Revolutionary.
Yeah, good intros. Solid. He made them all himself.
Hello, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to another movie review here on DSP Reacts. Today, I'm going to be reviewing.
Oh, what was that face touch? All right, already. Yes.
Here on DSP. Hello, everyone. Phil here, and welcome to another movie review here on DSP Reacts.
All right.
Look
today.
So we'll pause it here.
God.
Yep. So we've got Halloween tree. We've got Barbarian poster.png, and we've got him basically picking his nose. This is great, guys. I love it. This is great.
Look how bad this setup is, like compared to like previous reviews already. The Barbarian poster takes up the whole left side. He's going to be ducking in and out of that so hard.
God.
That's true. If he wants to sway, the Barbarian poster is going to be chopping his head off. Yeah, and this Halloween tree, I know he hasn't given like an explanation for why it's a Halloween tree, but why?
It looks like it's about to fall over. It literally looks to me like it is about to fall off the little end table.
Yes, it does.
And he looks like Wings right now, his fingers fall.
Oh yeah, that does look like a bona fide finger sniff, 100%. No good at all. I'm gonna boost you up a little, Thunder. You're a little quiet from what I hear. But
today I'm gonna be reviewing a surprise movie. I actually was not planning on watching this one.
Ooh, a surprise!
In all the reviews I was gonna do this month, but it just so happens I had a night with nothing really going on, and I wanted to watch a random movie, and I found it available on Max. I booted it up, I tried it out, and let me tell you something. It's a good one. Ladies and gentlemen, I've seen the 2022 movie Barbarian, rated R. It is a horror flick.
He has 7 minutes left.
From that title, you would have absolutely no idea what the movie is about,
rated R.
correct? Yeah, and that's a good thing. It leaves this big air of mystery, and basically what I'd like to tell you is this review will be mostly...
I disagree with him that, like, you don't really know what it's about. This art is actually, like, very telling for what it's about. It's about a lady who wanders into a basement. That's essentially how the movie jumps off. Is like she's staying at a house and she wanders into a basement.
I want to just comment on the art itself. It looks like something right out of the 80s and shit. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's great.
This would be like from an era of movie he would enjoy.
Yeah, it's great art.
Comment on the like how it's advertised and honestly, it's like not that complex of a plot.
No.
So my big issue with this movie, and I'm curious to see if he picks up on it, is just how predictable the characters are. Like, the characters do a lot of dumb shit in this movie. There's a lot of self-inflicted wounds in this movie.
Yeah, yes. And it's like it's a very basic plot, but the way it's told makes it good, and that's why I love this movie because of that. And just it's also self-aware, and I wonder if it's gonna. He's gonna mention that it's self-aware, very obviously.
Yes,
it's almost like it's three separate predictable plots where on their own there's nothing really novel about them, but because they're layered, like kind of the plots are layered, kind of like how the movie is, where they keep going down and down and down into this basement, where you have the first plot where you think it's kind of like a meet cute, where like these people are gonna end up staying in a house together because of a fucking reservation glitch, and then you think it might be a well, it does become a sexual assault movie, but not in the way that you think it does, because you think it's going to be the first guy she runs into, and it's not. He's very quickly dispatched. And then Justin Long shows up, and then that's when Justin Long shows up is when the movie really starts, honestly. And he's great. Justin Long is so good in this movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie. The way is it's framed is what makes it good.
Yes, yes.
Each section by itself isn't that great, but the way it's like framed and revealing shit is what makes it good.
It takes overplayed tropes, but does them well. So
yes,
I can at least respect that.
Yes, it executes brilliantly on a lot of shit we've seen before, and that's really what makes it. But let's see what he says about it.
Spoiler free. It's actually going to be a shorter review because I actually think this movie is good, and I don't want to spoil the plot for you guys. Okay. Here's what I will do.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
If it's a bad movie, he'll spoil it for you. But if it's good, he doesn't want to spoil it. Except he summarized every fucking movie in the past.
Well, he needs to have a backbone and be like, "Hey, I'm going to talk extensively about the plot, or I'm not." Like,
here's spoiler warnings. Like have a section talking about the movie.
Sure.
Without spoilers, then spoiler warnings.
Sure. And you can very easily it. You can very easily timestamp that.
A lot of good movie reviewers on YouTube will have a spoiler section and they'll timestamp it. Like there's a guy called Chris Stuckman who does that exact thing, and he's very good at it. And Phil is trying to do that with this series clearly, but he just doesn't. He's not smart enough. I don't know what to say other than he's not smart enough.
I think the problem is that the guy who does all his timestamps with an AI bot can't figure out how to get it to do spoiler timestamps.
Well, yeah, because the timestamps kind of just parse out what he says through the transcript. Yeah,
exactly. So he'll probably have to say like spoiler like 100 times before the AI picks up on it.
I also, and I know Thunder and I mentioned this in our DM thread last night, because I guess we all kind of watched it last night concurrently without knowing it. But Phil just, I think, fundamentally will not understand this movie. I think it's like again, it's not a hard movie to understand, but the way it's presented can be a little tricky. But it's obvious call outs to social issues of now, basically.
General basic summary of the beginning of the movie, so you know the setup and premise. I'll tell you some of the actors and people in it, and I'll tell you what I liked and didn't like. But I'm not going to spoil the plot because I actually think one of the best things about this movie is that you go into it not knowing what to expect because the name is so weird, right? I mean, it's Barbarian, but it's set in the present day. The woman does not look like a barbarian. Is Conan gonna burst out of the wall behind her and stab her and impale her in a horror movie thing? I don't know, right?
Conan?
So, yes, that's Conan.
That's what you think. Like, is Arnold Schwarzenegger in this movie? Does he come out and just like stab people? Like, what's going on?
This is This is a perfect example of like his bad, let's say badly calibrated comedy, because he thinks Barbarian. What's an 80s movie? What got a barbarian in it? Conan, Arnold Schwarzenegger. His mind is basically shotgunning 80s references and trying to mold them into like some weird joke. And it just doesn't hit. Because he doesn't understand that like context and delivery are everything. He thinks if he just says a joke, maybe it'll hit. And he recorded this. If I was him and I was recording this, I would have cut this part out. It's a really bad joke that didn't hit.
Or at least try again.
All right.
Yes.
So Barbarian.
Do another
take.
In
present day, a woman who's going on a job interview travels to Detroit, Michigan, and she's staying at an Airbnb. If you don't know.
Also, I would like to point out Kat Burnell from Michigan.
Are we pig-splaining an Airbnb?
We are pig-splaining an Airbnb. Strap in, Thunder. We are 2 minutes into an 8-minute and 21-second review.
What an Airbnb is?
What's up, Raven? What's up, Rydrake?
That you can stay
Everybody in the chat? Sorry, we've been ignoring you.
It's not a hotel, but it's owned by a private owner, and you're able to stay there as if it is a hotel for a period of time. A lot of people like Airbnb because it's.
To be fair, I don't think Jade's the kind of guy that would be ever staying in an Airbnb.
Who own these homes as rentals, and it's basically supporting a different kind of company rather than like a ginormous corporation like a Holiday Inn or something. Instead, you basically might get something that's a little bit more of a value, a little bit more homey because it's a real house.
You were just like addicted in taking out
rather than just a manufactured hotel room.
Okay.
And so basically it's all done online. A lot of these places.
No, we ain't skipping.
You don't know the person that you're staying, with or whatever.
It's 8 minutes.
The house is supposed to be to yourself.
Thanks, Bill Brasky, for the 2 months. Thanks, dude.
Of time, and usually there's a place that you would like pick up a key or drop a house key off. That's how Airbnb works. So you kind of have to know the president of how Airbnb works.
Yes, it sounds like he's shilling Airbnb.
He's traveling to Detroit for job.
Did we just spend a minute of this whole review just explaining Airbnb?
Correct. 1/8 of the review has been.
He's not even covered the first 15 minutes of this movie. And his review is, what are we, 3 minutes in, roughly?
Yeah, we're exactly 3 minutes in. Yeah. All he said is young lady goes to Detroit for job interview. That's all he said.
We've spent 1/8 of this movie explaining what an Airbnb is.
Yes.
This review. 1/8 of this review.
Good job, Phil.
I want to address Mortem asks, how the hell is this man alive? The human body breathes for itself, unfortunately. That's how this man's alive.
And, stubborn people have a way of sustaining themselves through sheer power of will. I've seen it.
And she's staying at this Airbnb for, I think, 2 days during her interview time. And then she's supposed to get out of there. So she shows up in the middle of the night and can't get into the house. The key is missing from where it's supposed to be. So she realizes, she thinks there's movement in the house, so she starts, knocking. Come to find out, someone else is already there.
Oh,
and
God.
They're trying to figure out what exactly happened. How could 2 people have been booked for the same house at the same night? That's not supposed to happen. It's only
So when they were saying, like, okay, let's reservation fuck up, let's call those fucking idiots, I could only think of Phil. I could only be like, if this shit happened to Phil, it would be so fucking funny. I could imagine him calling them lame brain idiots. I can imagine him billion-dollar bitches, all the Phil tropes. And I just thought of that entire mix-up for Phil Burnell, and it was really funny to me.
Like, can you imagine, like, she walks up to the house and he's already in there? He's just gonna open the door and shoot her. What?
Oh, Phil,
no questions asked.
Yeah, if Phil was the guy, Keith, Phil would have just brained her right there, no questions. It's my property.
He would have opened the door with his hatchet.
Yeah,
not a good hatchet.
Or no, you know what? I don't have it on the soundboard, but he would have said, I'm going to open the door and shoot you. And then he would have shot, and that would have been it. Funnily enough, that does happen later on in the movie. The lady does get shot accidentally, which I actually thought that scene was kind of funny.
I have it.
I'm going to open the door and shoot you.
Thank you, Decepticon. I have to redo my soundboard today. I fucked it up again.
It's supposed to be a 1-occupancy home. So was there a mix-up or whatever? And basically, that's the beginning of the premise of the movie. The air of mystery.
The beginning of the premise.
What happened?
Okay.
Was this a mix-up? Was this intentionally done? Is the person who's staying at that house
home defense hatchet? That's right, Timothy.
The woman. Is that the premise of the horror of the movie? All I'm going to say is the movie is a rated R. It's got gore, and it's got some really uncomfortable, very disturbing imagery and situations. That's all.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
It's not a slasher flick. So don't worry.
Here, hold on. We got to play something back for Indrid. Watch his tongue.
It's got gore, and it's got some really
he does that tongue thing.
Very disturbing imagery and situations. That's all I'm going to say.
Wait. Pause.
After he says imagery and situations, he does that weird thing. Go ahead, Decepticon.
Is he not wanting to do a summary on this movie? Because he summarizes every other thing. But he doesn't want to summarize this because he'll have to talk about boobs and breasts.
He will. All right, let's get it out there. The Barbarian lady has giant boobs, and you see them a whole bunch. And I bet that made him very uncomfortable. There is even that disgusting scene where, like, it's implied that she goes back and she tries to breastfeed Justin Long, and, like, thinking about the implications of that are really fucked up to me. But man, he doesn't want to talk about the very husky lady with big boobs. That's what he doesn't want to talk about. And he probably doesn't want to talk about the fact that the lady, the star of the movie, Tess, was kind of cute. He probably doesn't like that either. So
I will say this, it's not a slasher flick. So don't worry, this isn't like, oh my God, it's like
he's wrong and right at the same time, I guess. Like it becomes a monster movie. The back third
it's a monster movie.
It is a monster movie. Like the Barbarian rips people's heads off in this thing. It's a monster movie. Especially the homeless guy. When the homeless guy's like, I've been living in here for 15 years. She's not getting in this motherfucker. And then she just like tears his arms off. That's a great scene. Great.
Yeah.
He's wrong.
Hostile, there's going to be disgusting dismemberment and torture. Nothing to that extent.
No, there is actual dismemberment in this movie. Like very graphic dismemberment.
Did he watch this movie?
Yeah,
like, did he just stop at like at the breastfeeding?
Yeah, people's heads get turned around and their arms get torn off. Like, Bill, God.
I think he stopped at some point. Like, I'm curious now if he mentions.
I think he stopped at like. So here's the test: if he mentions the old man that's also living down there, then he watched most of the movie. If he doesn't, it means he stopped at the part where she takes Justin Long out of the cage.
But also, like at the very first third, there's a skull crushing.
Yes, there's an actual skull. Yeah, an actual skull crushing against a wall. Yeah, like so.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know. Did he just stop at the first third when it went into the basement?
I don't know how he can tell people this movie's not gory. This movie is very violent. Like it's incredibly violent.
Very creepy movie that keeps you guessing.
Wait, did he say creepy? Hold on.
It's a very creepy movie.
Yes, he did. Creepy.
And I had no idea what to expect going into it. I'll tell you, by the end of the movie, I was shocked in a good way, I would say, because it was nothing like what I expected it was going to be. It was scary. The effects were good, I would argue. The acting was good. And it has a very small cast. It's only a few actors and actresses in this movie.
Yes.
Who I would say under 10? Probably under 10. Maybe, okay. I think at one point there's 2 police.
So like this is what he picks out of all the things. Like, oh, it's a very small cast. Like, oh, cool. Like, I gotta give him some credit for noticing that, because it is like when you are into movies, like I know Decepticon and I have some background in it, and Thunder is a movie guy. When you're into movies, that's kind of cool to recognize, to be like, oh, they did a lot with very few people. But to hear him say it just comes off as him trying to sound smart, you know? It's
he mentions the police, so he at least got past the breastfeeding scene.
That's true. He does mention the police, because the police show up twice, and it's not until the back third. So
officers.
Yeah. So okay, he got past that.
The actor count a little more, but it's
I want him to talk about the ending, because the ending is
that's confined mostly
amazing
to the home and or other things going on around the home.
The water tower scene made me laugh, actually.
It's scary for sure. Now,
because of how crazy it was.
I can't spoil the plot. If I tell you literally any more than that intro premise, I will spoil. But I will say the suspense is absolutely great. The build up, some of the shots are well done. Here's a cool twist.
All right, guys, I'm going to say I agree with what Phil just said. The movie is shot very well, and the suspense of the movie is really great.
No, it's a shit movie now. Phil liked it.
I was glued to this movie because it does such a it's a constant tension build. The entire movie is a constant tension build until Justin Long shows up, and then all that tension goes away, and then they build it again. I was. Go ahead.
Sorry, you want to go ahead? No, you go ahead.
They take you through that tension building twice, and I think that was a really interesting choice.
Yeah, no, I was watching with people, and I was shut up for good chunks of it, which is like hard to do sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I was just so drawn into the tension of the movie. It was good.
I thought about watching this watching Barbarian in the Discord, but I was like, no, from what I heard about this, I kind of just want to watch it alone. I feel like watching it with people would deflate the tension. Thunder, did you watch this solo as well?
I did watch this solo.
Okay. I think if I were to recommend, I think this movie is best consumed solo. That's just my opinion. Solo, like Derek.
Well, what's the twist that he's going to mention, though?
Yeah, let's get to that.
I wonder, because there isn't really a twist. Like this movie presents you things very linearly. There's not really a twist. I mean,
yeah, there's still
if anything, the twist is that the secret basement exists, and that's the twist. So he'd be past that.
If anything, you get the twist in like the first 15-20 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, you understand that there's an underground complex under this house, and that's the twist, you know?
The movie completely changes tones and introduces new characters. And you're like, wait, what? I'm halfway into the movie.
Okay, I think he's talking about the hard cut to the Justin Long sexual assault allegation being the twist. I think that's what he thinks a twist is.
Oh my God.
Because he just said, oh, it changes tones. And the biggest tonal shift is when Justin Long is driving his Thunderbird along the beach. Like that, I can't think of a more stark tonal shift in a movie I've seen in a very long time. That scene made me laugh so hard.
I'm already hooked. There's more? Yeah, and it actually makes it feel like kind of interesting.
There's
like,
more?
Oh my God, there's another cast of characters being introduced here. And by the way, some of these actors like Bill Skarsgård and Justin Long, you might actually recognize. Like Justin Long, I know from like comedies back in the day.
He's in everything. Justin Long is in like a ton of movies.
I don't know if you ever saw that one. So I've known him from various.
Wait, he's seen Tusk?
To see him in the movie.
Bill has seen Tusk. Let's play that again. Bill's seen Tusk. That doesn't seem like a movie he'd put up with.
Justin Long, I know from like comedies back in the day, and actually he was in this other horror movie a long time ago, Tusk. I don't know if you ever saw that one. So I've known him
he saw
various,
Tusk,
comedies
allegedly.
and other things. To see him in the movie, I was like,
I don't know.
Friggin' actor I recognize from back in the day, and here he is in a modern horror movie. That's pretty cool.
Back in the day?
Justin Long is his age, I'm pretty sure. Justin Long is like 40. He's not that old.
Yeah, Justin Long is older than Phil.
Oh, really? Okay.
Well, he mentions Tusk, and then Tusk is out like less than 10 years ago, I think.
Yeah,
Tusk came out in 2014. So
okay,
that might have been Panda Watch.
Oh, yeah. Because Panda was into certain movies. I think he watched more movies when Panda was around. Kat doesn't seem like she does anything but play Bethesda games.
It was pretty neat. And again, the acting is good. And there's a ongoing story that unfolds over the course of the movie. At first, the movie makes absolutely no sense. But by all means, by the end of the movie, you will understand everything that's happened. They do a good job. A lot of these horror movies, they're like, oh, they're not going to explain nothing, right? You just got to figure it out for yourself. It's your own interpretation. Oh, no. Barbarian fully explains everything that's going on and why it's going on.
Oh, that's why he liked this movie. That's why he liked this movie. Because I agree with him that this movie doesn't leave anything to interpretation. They show you everything. By the end, there is no ambiguity of why and what. The homeless man even says why the Barbarian exists. Like they even come out and say it, you know? That's why he loves this. Because he needs to have everything explained to him. Because he's a man-child. Okay. Because I couldn't think of a way that he liked this. I couldn't. But that makes perfect sense.
Going on, it's just very disturbing. But you get your answers, all right? And that's a good thing about a movie like this. If you're going to invest time in it, you want to know exactly what's going on.
Time?
You get your answers by the end of the film, which I really enjoyed. It's a pretty fast-moving movie, too. It's less than 2 hours. I think it's between 90 minutes and 2 hours. And, it was quite entertaining by the end, by the way that it ended.
Quite entertaining.
So, yeah, I really, really enjoyed the flick. And I hope that you'll
He called it a flick. Big ups flicks, guys.
give it a look. Now, the thing is, I'm not going to go any further than that, really.
It is. And the fact that he has said nothing about what the movie is, actually. He's just said, girl shows up in Detroit for a job interview. She rents this Airbnb. There's a mix-up. And Justin Long is in it. That's all he said. So it actually sounds like it could be a rom-com by what he's describing, theoretically. So why would you watch this movie after watching his review?
Tell you, cinematography was well done. The acting was well done. Very creepy scenes of suspense. Great framing. Some really great effects in the movie. Yes, there's gore, like I said.
Like what?
The story is well written and interesting, and I like how...
Wait, you said there wasn't gore.
Yeah, he said there wasn't gore or dismemberment, and there factually was. There were very graphic scenes of dismemberment.
Well, now he's contradicting himself less than 3 minutes later.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Come on, man. I feel like he may not have watched the whole movie. I think he might have watched like one of those movie Cliff Notes channels, where like an AI voice explains the plot while occasionally showing clips. That's what this feels like. Because if he saw the scene where the homeless man gets his arms ripped out, he would not be saying this. God. I'm sorry, Thunder, go ahead.
Yeah, he would be more bothered be more bothered with this movie if he watched it. So I don't know.
By the monster boobs alone, I would think, because the monster boobs are prominently featured in this movie, and I think that would make him very uncomfortable.
The movie almost kind of restarts over with more stuff happening, more information. I like that by the end you get a full explanation of everything that's going on in this situation. But I don't want to go any further. I really do feel like it would do a disservice to the movie to tell you more about the plot elements or whatever. But actually one of the more original, shockingly scary and surprising movies. You will enjoy this movie more if you go into it having no idea what's going to happen past that whole Airbnb mix-up plot. Knowing nothing else, you will enjoy it way more. Because I really loved it because I didn't know what was going to happen. If I had actually known about some of the stuff that was going to be coming up in the movie, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much. I actually really was shocked and surprised. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, this is a good one. But yes, there is gore. There is some very disturbing scenes in this movie. Prepare yourself for it. Okay,
so now he is saying
I think you will
disturbing
enjoy it if you like horror movies. Okay? So, Barbarian, I give it actually 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed it. I hope that you'll give it a look.
2 Salvano thumbs, way up.
Old, and I just happened to stumble upon it.
So I think he's done. So let's talk about this and then let's move on to Halloween. I think he wasted his time even doing this video. Complete waste of time.
It felt like just an easy video he could make, even easier than usual. You know, like here's my excuse why I won't even bother summarizing this.
This is even low effort than his usual low effort garbage. Like. This comes across as he wanted to get this video up so that he could say on a pre-stream, hey, I posted a surprise video I didn't plan, because people in the suggestion box are giving him a lot of shit about having to be artistic about his schedule. You know what I mean? So it sounds like... Go ahead, Decepticon.
No, there was just like so much other things he could have touched on and actually made this somewhat of a depth review. I mean, the movie tropes and it being self-aware is a good thing he could have talked about for at least like 30 seconds. Like it was just all surface level, and his biggest plus was the movie explains everything to you at the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the biggest plus he gave.
Like, if that's the thing, you could do this in a short.
Yeah, he could have
been a short.
He could have done this in 59 seconds. Yes, absolutely. And I think people like Phil ruin media because... I'm sorry, go ahead, Decepticon.
So someone just needs to take that 1-minute clip of him talking about Airbnbs and upload it as like Airbnb 101. What is it for seniors or something?
Oh, God, I could do that today.
To pop up on feeds.
I could do that today. Yes, I'll do that today after we're done with this.
Like,
I've got some time.
Advertise it as like a tutorial.
Yeah, rent an Airbnb, and then it's just... Go ahead, Thunder.
Let's see his thoughts on Halloween. I'm more curious about his thoughts on Halloween than I am.
Okay.
This.
Fair enough. I think it's safe to say that all 3 of us liked the movie, and Phil wasted his time on this one. So let's move on to Barbarian.
Oh, Barbarian.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, here we go. Halloween Kills. This one's a little bit meatier. It is it is more than double the length of the Barbarian one. It's 17:49. So let's get into it, fellas.
I can't tell if it's paused. Okay, yeah.
God,
that was so extended.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Phil here, and welcome.
How is his gain not consistent between the two clips? I hate this.
Another movie review.
That's still not enough. God, how is his gain not consistent? He never touches it, right?
Wait, hold up.
This time.
Yes.
He's wearing the same shirt, same lighting in the background. He filmed all this in one sitting.
Correct.
Yes, he did.
So why is his? So that's my question. Why is his gain different? His microphone gain should not be different. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's really
How
fucked
does he
up.
fuck that up?
Unless
How did he fuck that up?
Yeah. How is his mic gain different? That's a mystery to me.
The only thing changed between videos was like the image being put up from Barbarian to Halloween Kills.
God. Weird. Okay, well, let's get into it. I really want to know. He's gonna say something about Anthony Michael Hall being in this movie, isn't he? Because Anthony Michael Hall was like the John Hughes '80s actor, and he's seen all those movies. That's my prediction. Is Anthony Michael Hall, old and chubby, like.
Reviewing the second in the new Halloween reboot trilogy, Halloween Kills. The original movie was called Halloween from 2018, and if you missed my review of that movie, it's right here on DSP React, so you can check that one out. This is the middle movie of this trilogy, and then there is a final movie called Halloween Ends, and that I'll be reviewing.
No way, there are 3 movies in a trilogy. Holy shit. So,
the Halloween 2018 reboot movie, in my opinion, wasn't that bad.
Why is he playing with his hair so much? That's so weird.
It had a few questionable moments and interesting choices.
I think he's actually nervous that he has to take a stance on this video. On this
everything
movie.
that has happened in the original Halloween movie was not.
Yeah, he probably is nervous.
Really happened, and that
he's a high anxiety type of person.
Captured after his rampage through.
Oh my god,
Haddonfield. I keep forgetting the name of the actual town.
They say it like 100 times in this
the cops
movie.
actually stopped him, incarcerated him, and basically he's been in a mental institution for 40 years, breaks out.
Wait, so he told people to watch the first review of Halloween, which explains all of this that he's saying now. Okay, Phil. Very good. Yeah. Very curated of you, content curator.
And goes back on a homicidal rampage through the same town again. It's kind of an interesting premise, although it's not perfect. So when it was announced that this film was going to be a trilogy, not just a single movie, you have to wonder what's going to happen in each movie that's going to make it more interesting.
He's still not talking about the movie.
It's the trilogy, in this movie, Halloween Kills,
this
Michael
annoys
Myers
me so much.
Is not going to be killed or stopped. Also, the protagonists from the last movie, so Laurie Strode and her family, also can't be killed or stopped, because obviously there's going to be a final movie. What's going to happen if they're all dead? Then what's the point, right? So, ultimately, Halloween Kills finds itself floundering, trying to find some meaning. Now, the cool thing about the movie...
That is a bold thing for him to say. Fuck you, Phil.
However, there's a difference between trying and succeeding. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to warn you right now. I have to spoil this movie to review it, because it is the very premise of the plot and what happens in the movie that is my major problems with it. So therefore, if you were going to watch this movie for yourself and you did not want to be spoiled, I strongly recommend you do not watch this review starting now, because I am about to start spoiling the movie big way.
This could not be more different. Oh no, I have the wrong movie up. I just realized. Hold on, I planned for this. I just didn't switch. There we go. This could not be more different than his attitude on the Barbarian review. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's so fucking stressed. Like, look how much he's rubbing his hair.
He was, dare I say, calm when he recorded the Barbarian review. He was like super calm and chill during that. And now, I don't know
if he's gonna like, if he's nervous about offending Halloween fans, which my assumption is Halloween fans didn't like this movie.
He's nervous. He has to take a stance.
Like say something's not good. Like he has to be negative about something.
Which is why I am waiting for DS politics and DS religion. Come on, give it to me.
Yes.
Because when he starts getting flack from being a fence sitter and he has to start taking a stance, oh yes, please. Yes, let's see it.
Because in online politics, if you're a fence sitter like him, the left and the right all hate you. And it's gonna be great. It's going to be fantastic.
Sure. In a big way, because I am so highly critical of it. Okay? First of all, this movie should have a much better title that would actually be more representative of what the movie is. The
title's
should
fine.
Be called Halloween Kills Time. Because as the middle movie of this trilogy,
fuck you, Phil.
You can tell as you watch it, they had no idea what to do with this movie.
Time.
The first movie is the reintroduction of Michael Myers.
So Phil, a content creator is criticizing a movie studio for not knowing what to do with their content when he routinely says every single day, guys, I don't know what to do. I need your feedback. Tell me what to do. Fuck you.
Yes, exactly.
Fuck off.
And I mean, it was publicized that this movie had some creative insecurity with them waffling over how to do, and in between movies, they pivoted multiple times on like what to happen within the movie. Like, if you do a little bit of research about, shit you're going to talk about, it helps, because then like you don't sound like as much of an idiot. Like, I'm sorry, if I'm going to put out a video I expect to monetize talking about something, I'm at least going to do baseline research so that I can say, okay, well, I know somewhat important things about the movie.
Right.
And, yeah, that's
and for a guy that always says people take me out of context, he doesn't do a very good job of putting these movies and the production of these movies in context when he wants to criticize the production of these movies. It really sucks, and it makes him out to be such an idiot.
To his old hometown, and how people are dealing with the fact that 40 years later...
Banana Jones in the chat says Phil is the poor man's Tim Pool. You might be right, Banana Jones. You might be right.
This movie is so ludicrous because they don't know what to do with it, so they make it a filler movie. And it's funny because you can argue that the sequel typically does not live up to the hype of the original. But you can look at some classic movie trilogies like Star Wars, where Empire Strikes Back...
3 minutes in, and he hasn't said anything about this movie.
Yikes!
He has
I would be hard pressed to say that this movie is
elaborate on it.
In fact,
he can't elaborate.
He needs to hit the point and either elaborate or move on. He's just filling time right now.
Like he needs to elaborate what aspect of this film, because there's like actual plot to it, and then there's like some fluff kills, which is.
And like, you can tell that the production of this movie was in turmoil by some of the things that happen in the film. It's not hard to figure out, but he needs to, if he's going to be the reviewer, he needs to tell us why. He needs to tell us why the movie was scattered or why it was a filler movie, and he's not doing that.
I think it's perfectly valid to compare this to its previous movie.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
That is absolutely valid, because it is a direct continuation, like to the minute.
Exactly, so, it's fine.
Yeah.
And I found this movie filmed very flat compared to the 2018 Halloween. But the thing is, he doesn't make these comparisons at all. He doesn't elaborate what he thinks is filler, what's not filler, what's the actual plot. He just rambles and says,
"I don't like
filler."
It. End of day. That's it. I don't like it. End.
I don't like it.
I wonder if he actually elaborates.
It's like he approaches a comparison point but doesn't do it, because he keeps saying, I liked Halloween 2018, it was pretty good. This movie is filler, and then he just moves on without telling you why this movie is filler as compared to Halloween 2018. It's such a presentation flaw with him that he's never quite ever solved in his entire life.
The best way I can
he's doing this like a high school essay where the opening paragraph addresses every point he's going to make without elaborating on it.
Yes.
And then he's going to get to the actual paragraph that talks about everything. And it's like, he shouldn't be doing that. He should just jump right into it. Like, he's been spending over 3 minutes talking about what he's going to talk about.
Just make your point. Like, Phil always likes to say, like, I can talk for hours and hours, I'm good at public presentation. Like, no, I took advanced public presentation in college, and what they tell you is you have to hit your point in 5 minutes or else your audience is done. Your audience doesn't want to hear it. And if he's gonna spend 17 minutes meandering around, nobody wants to hear it. Go ahead, Thunder. I'm sorry.
Right. You have to state your case to start and then elaborate. It's not hard. It's really not hard. It's public speaking 101.
It's very simple. I had a professor that would say, tell him what you're going to tell him, then tell him what you told him. That's exactly what you do. And he does it completely scatterbrained.
Review this movie, in a quick review before I even spoil anything about it, is this. I wish I could get my 90 minutes back, because there wasn't a
I say that every day. Every time I listen to the pre-stream, holy shit.
Kills being kind of gory and creative and ooh kind of moments. Oh, he really got it bad, right? Outside of that, there's really no enjoyment to be had in this movie whatsoever. All right, the whole movie is a false premise set up to fail from the start that just leaves you feeling incredibly
the thing is, he's not
wrong. So watching the 90 plus minutes just makes you more deflated at the end.
Yes, he does.
I hope he does, but like, yeah, that's the thing. He's not wrong when he says that this movie is largely filler. Like, I don't disagree with him. I really don't, because honestly, nothing changes between the beginning of this movie and the end other than more people are dead. No one learns anything.
There is some plot. There is like some movement, but the thing is, it's really like they had 60 minutes of it. How do we fill in the rest? Add in these kills. So that it was like we have 50, 60 pages of an actual movie. Let's fill in the rest with kills. Which is like what they did with like in slashers in the 80s and shit, you know.
Runtime. Yeah, and like the thing is, this movie hits you over the head with its theme when Jamie Lee Curtis is explaining things to Frank Hawkins when they're in the hospital bed, where she's like, he turns us into monsters. Like, that was really on the nose, right? And like, Phil needs to cite shit like that, and he doesn't. You know,
they've done that twice, like once with her, and then once again with the one deputy guy. Like, he's turning us into monsters. Like, they did it twice.
They said it twice, but he doesn't mention any of that for why the movie is dumb and filler. You know, like.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. We still got another 15 minutes or so.
We got about 13 minutes.
Way,
so
let's
go.
I watched the extended cut, which I guess supposedly
the extended cut is the only thing available right now.
To actually spoil the movie now, so I can tell you what's wrong with it. All right.
Okay.
The premise of Halloween Kills is that at the end of Halloween 2018, Michael Myers did not die. He did not burn down in that house that Laurie Strode set up as a trap house for him. Why? Because the
I love hearing him say trap house. That's really funny.
You mean like they would always do in any kind of a residential neighborhood? Yeah. So Laurie Strode planned for 40 years to kill Michael Myers and never thought of a plan that would prevent the firefighters from coming to put out the fire that's supposed to kill him.
What is she supposed to do? Assassinate the fire department? What is she supposed to do?
She was bleeding out.
Yeah.
She was bleeding out.
Well, I think his whole argument on that is like, she lived in the middle of the woods. She did not expect someone to call that soon.
True.
Like, they even set up that like neighbor thing where they said, "Oh, we saw smoke at the Strode's residence or something." That's actually one of the kills.
Those neighbors, man, the way they went out was just kind of funny to me. I don't know. Those neighbors.
Yeah, it was like nosy neighbors were like watching her house or some shit. When she like lived in the middle of the woods. There was multiple scenes in the first movie where they were running through the woods to get there and like taking long winding paths to get there.
And then all of a sudden her house is within, eyesight of two geriatrics that can call the cops, It's really weird.
Yeah, it's like you can address that aspect, like, oh, they didn't set it up well with like who called the fire department, but he's making it sound like she lives in a suburb.
Right.
Yeah, and the two podcasters in the first movie, it took a while for them to drive there. And there was a gate in front of her compound. Yeah. Like, it was a hard place to get into back then.
So it was a shit like continuity aspect of the movie. I think that's fair to address. But he's making it sound like Laurie is an idiot for like plotting this, which I don't think is fair. I think it's more of a movie continuity issue than anything else.
They had a different script supervisor between the two movies, and they didn't pay attention.
Exactly. I think that's
this shit God. Right here.
Well,
you make something.
Look like a complete idiot.
You make something,
right?
Phil.
After she looked actually like a badass in the first movie, now you make her look terrible. What a moron! You spent 40 years building this trap house and never thought someone would put the fire out? I mean, come on. So, what ends up happening in this movie, the Strode family, Laurie, her daughter, and her granddaughter, go to the hospital only to find out that someone put out the fire and Michael Myers may or may not still be alive.
That's not exactly how it happens, but okay.
The other side of the story is that the townspeople of is it Haddonfield? I keep forgetting the name of the town. It might be Haddonfield. The townspeople are fed up.
Might be Haddonfield.
For 40 years they lived in fear.
They say it like 40
times
throughout the entire movie.
Why? I have no idea. According to the lore of the movie, Michael Myers only went on a rampage one night, was stopped that night, and has been incarcerated in a mental institution ever since. So why has he haunted them for 40 years?
It's PTSD, Phil. It's generational trauma. How does he not understand that? Like,
the Salem witch trials. How do they keep mentioning that? Does it happen like every year? Like things haunt a location for years, you know?
He didn't quite understand why people still mourn 9/11. Like, he didn't quite get that. Like, he truly doesn't understand, like, grief and how grief can follow, especially a town. Dude, if there's like a devastating murder in your town, people are gonna talk about it, especially if it happened on Halloween. Like, he just doesn't understand people. This is another demonstration of him being fundamentally broken, you know?
You think at one point you get over it? But basically this movie follows
Hey, stupid, wait. I have depression. That's the same guy that said, I have depression. So
I'm sorry, but there's a whole scene where it's like all these victims came together and they're like friends because of this trauma.
Trauma bonding. Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
There's a whole scene about that where like the guy does a little speech. Tommy does a speech about the boogeyman.
Yeah.
That's, oh my God.
It's trauma bonding, and it's like lifelong trauma bonding, because if you've been through shit with friends of yours, you're usually friends with them forever. Trauma bonding is a real thing, but Phil doesn't understand that because he never had friends outside of John.
The stories of people in the town who had big major losses during that original killing spree. There's one of the kids who was babysat by Laurie Strode. He's now a grown-up male, and he's
grown-up male. Okay, that's such a weird turn of phrase. He's a grown-up male. Could just said he's an adult, man. That's so weird.
He's all miserable. His life's kind of messed up, and he's always haunted by Michael Myers. There's a washed-up cop who basically, during that original Michael Myers situation, lost his daughter and basically kind of became like a drunk or whatever, and now he's a security guard. Okay, so basically it follows the story of these different people in the town who are now very sad because their lives are kind of ruined as a result of the Michael Myers killing spree. But at some point, you gotta say, when are they gonna take responsibility for themselves? Like,
what?
Was it really?
What? This is the most insensitive I have heard him be in a very long time.
Are we fucking serious?
This is a derailment. Like, when are we going to take responsibility that they were traumatized by a serial killer?
Yeah,
oh my God.
Yeah, this guy in a white mask brutally killed and murdered multiple people that shattered the lives of multiple families for generations, but they should just grow the fuck up and get over it. Fuck you, man. Fuck you. This is the worst he's been in a long time.
Michael that ruined their lives, or was
I can't wait till Steve sees
over
this.
That horrible night and then being self-destructive. I'm just saying, you know, not everyone in the entire town had their lives ruined, but these particular...
He's telling them they're being self-destructive. A man who I almost said sabotage, like William Shatner. A man who self-sabotages him every single day because he doesn't want his problem solved. Holy shit, Phil. Get over your back injury, dude.
Right now.
Get over your... Dude. Go ahead.
I didn't expect this derailment. Like,
no.
I'm loving this.
This is great. I'm so glad we did this.
People did. Anyway, basically the premise of the movie is thus. While the Strode family...
take away from Halloween is they need to get over it.
Michael Myers breaks out of the trap house because firefighters come to save him.
I love how he says trap house. That's so funny to me.
And then he kills them all. I want you to think about that.
They don't put out the fire.
The firefighters are coming to...
No, they don't put out the fire. He just walks himself out. Like
there's the fireman that reaches out with his hand so they can grab my hand, and Myers reaches out. That's a whole thing.
Michael climbs up.
I really want to hear this thought here, because holy shit, this is...
He gets so much of it wrong.
What?
To the house with axes, with weapons, with all this protective equipment to stop a fire that, by the way, could also very well stop a human. But Michael Myers walks out of the house and proceeds to kill every single...
Dude, Michael Myers is firmly not human. He's not a mortal man.
Yes.
They even cement that like logic into the movie at the end, where like Laurie is like having this monologue saying he's not a man, evil drives him.
He's not a man.
That's the whole ending of the movie.
That was a point hammered home. That's a point that's been hammered home with this franchise for
Loomis
40 years.
Loomis has been saying it since the first fucking movie. He's not a man.
Well, I'm ignoring like all the other movies. Like there was that opening. I'm just saying this one trilogy.
Okay,
Loomis has that opening speech in 2018.
Yes.
In the 2018, they have like the scanning over the papers. It's Loomis's narration.
The recorders are playing. Yeah.
Yes. And then this movie at the very end, Laurie says he's not a man. He's driven by evil. And then that's the whole ending point is like, you think he's dead, but he can't be killed.
Yeah.
They cement the supernatural aspect into it. Like, he's so fucking dumb.
Yeah, Phil's just an idiot. And I am still floored by the fact that his takeaway is this town should get over it. No, Phil.
One of them. And in classic, inexplicable fashion.
It's their fault.
Yeah, it's their fault. Sorry. Nothing I could do.
None of the fire.
You know, Michael Myers is Phil. Michael Myers would be like, nothing I could do. I'm just evil. Sorry. Nothing I could do.
Firefighters attempt to really defend themselves. One of them sprays him with the fucking hose, like that's going to do something.
Okay. Does he know how powerful a fire hose is? That would knock any mortal man over. Fire hoses are used for riot control, my man. Come on, Phil.
The rest of them just kind of stand there while...
Go ahead.
What do you mean? Sorry, let's finish this point. Sorry,
each of them get picked off one by one. Not once did they team up to go 2-on-1, 3-on-1,
they
4-on-1, 10-on-1 versus Michael. Instead, he just slowly kills each one of them in a row as they stand there and the camera pans out to conveniently not have the other firefighters in frame, so it would make more sense.
Oh, so now he's a cinematography and blocking expert. Okay. Let's hear this, Phil. Yes, go ahead.
No, it's just like, can you imagine, like, you work with these people, like, saving people from fires, and then you think, oh, let's team up on this guy. You have a saw, you have an axe, you're both swinging at him. You know, the potential of hitting your friend, you know? Your co-worker, like, with a saw.
Yeah, let's go close together so I can hit you in the face with this saw. Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's just they're not fighters. They're not professional fighters.
And you have to figure the weight of the gear they have as well as the weight of the tools they have. They're not dealing with stuff that awards you the best mobility.
No.
It's not even just like he's like questioning the realism of it all. It's just the dumb part.
Yeah, and maybe being confronted with a man who walked himself out of a fire, maybe they're a bit shook. And maybe they're not sure what to do. So maybe they're moving a little slow, you know?
Yeah.
Because they would team up against him.
They're finally seeing the monster that has been talked about for 40 years.
Well, consider this, like...
Go ahead.
No, consider this. So you're asking these firefighters who typically save people to go into, like, melee fights with axes and the saws.
Yes.
Instead of, like, a police officer who uses a gun, you point and shoot. There's a lot more of a distance. Getting up close to hit someone with an axe, that's very different, you know.
It's like he wanted a highly choreographed John Woo fight scene with these firefighters versus Michael Myers. That's kind of what he's describing. Like, yeah, they should team up. Like, no, it's not a fucking John Woo movie, Phil.
Whatsoever, it's incredibly stupid. Okay? So then Michael...
Also, by the way, DSP slanders firefighters and calls them stupid. So he hates first responders. You heard it here first.
Is angry, and he returns to the town and starts going on a killing spree again. He goes inside of different homes, killing random people left and right. And this is probably the highlight of the movie because you get to see some really gory kills. If you like that kind of stuff,
is he going to talk about Big John and Little John? I hope he does.
Is he going to talk about the neighbors?
But after a while, you seem to realize something.
Because there was actually a purpose to that scene.
The police know that Michael is on the loose.
And that was a very gruesome scene, the kind of like sad scene.
They even go to the hospital. They alert everyone at the hospital as people are being brought in who are being hurt by this killing spree.
Nope, he's skipping over so much shit.
Safe because Michael Myers is on the loose or whatever. They never encounter Michael at all in the movie. Everyone.
Wait, pause. Like, has he? So he skipped over the neighbors where he finds the knife because that's the whole scene where he's like stabbing the one guy's back with different knives to see which one he wants.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole thing. And to be fair, that scene dragged out way too long. It wasn't that cool. It was the ending aspect was cool when it was testing out the knives, but that's kind of it. But he skips over that. Is he skipping over the Burr as well with all the victims telling the stories?
Where they set the stage?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tommy Doyle's monologue on stage tells you everything you need to know, and he skips it.
You can skip the neighbors and the knife test thing, but I don't think you can skip the Burr because that's actually part of the plot. It's like you can tell what's just the filler kills just to fill up time, and what's actually the movie it was supposed to be. They're just drastically different. Like Big John, Little John feels out of place.
Yeah, that whole subplot between Big John and Little John could have gone. They could have cut that entire thing.
Exactly. But while Tommy and his whole thing was part of the plot. Like, it's very easy to tell.
Yeah. Also, I want to highlight M. Bode in the chat says Michael Myers is a PC player. That's why he kills people so fast. You're probably right.
Oh, okay.
He's got mouse and keyboard control, man.
Else does. Like, everyone else in the town finds him. Even some of the Strode family find him. But the cops are not competent enough to find him for some odd reason. The weird part is there's actually a scene where two cops are analyzing Michael's movements and saying, if you track where he's going, it looks like he's making a beeline from the Strode house.
That's not the cops. That was Lonnie and Tommy. Lonnie and Tommy are the ones that figure out where he's going.
Yeah, that's two people that are people I was very much waiting to see die in this movie. I hated Tommy Doyle's character in this movie.
Oh, he was terrible. He was like both him and Lonnie were like past their prime alcoholics that were trying to be like tough guys. You know, it was just so annoying. Annoying.
I just realized he skipped a chunk of it, didn't he? About like the whole flashback with the deputy or sheriff guy. Back to Haddonfield 78.
He skipped the whole Frank Hawkins flashback. And honestly, those flashback scenes were some of my favorite scenes of the movie to watch. They were incredibly well done, honestly.
I like them, but it also sets up like he went back there in the past, he's going back there now. Like it sets up Myers' motive in a way.
It's a cycle of violence that will just repeat itself. That's what the movie is trying to say with those scenes, but again, over Phil's head. You're right. He skipped the beginning scene, and the kids in the beginning scene were the adults in the bar. They become the adults in the bar, and that's very important, you know? And he didn't get that.
That burnt down back to his old childhood home. So why didn't you go stop him? If you knew that was the case, why did you never encounter Michael Myers throughout the entire movie? It makes no sense at all. Okay? Instead, what happens is the people of town all get together and say, we're going to kill Michael. We're going to put an end to this.
The people of town,
and they start forming these posses.
He doesn't know the word townspeople.
Of people who get together in cars and go out with makeshift weapons and guns and things because they want to kill Michael. Can you assume how it goes? I want you to think about this.
He thinks he's being flip. I hate when he does this. He thinks he's being funny.
To make a long story short, all right, at the end of the movie, Laurie Strode has been fooled the entire movie to think that Michael is dead, okay? She has to have surgery and all kinds.
No, she hasn't been fooled. They didn't want to tell her because she's recovering from life-threatening wounds.
Getting stabbed.
Yeah. It's not like Karen didn't fool her. She was like, I want my mother to heal, so I'm not going to tell her that the guy she thought she killed is alive. Like, Phil just doesn't understand basic human interaction and family, really.
I just thought because she got stabbed by Michael at the end of the 2018 film. At the end of the movie, she finally gets, realization that he's alive, and she thinks she's going to go out there and try to kill him. But what ends up happening is the town has been worked into such a fervor about Michael that evil ends tonight.
That almost sounds like Burger.
Tonight. Well, guess what? One of the other escaped inmates
Nutjob
was on the same bus that Michael escaped from. From the asylum, is also running around town, and they mistake him for Michael Myers, even though he's just a guy in an actual, suit from the mental institution. He looks nothing like Michael. He's not the same body type. He's not the same size. He's bald. He looks nothing like Michael at all.
He also has to factor in that most of the townspeople have not seen Michael Myers. Very few people have actually seen him. He's forgetting that.
And he's glossing over the fact that it's meant to show like the issue with like mob think and mob mentality and how people get worked up into a fervor. And look, That shit sucked. It detracted from the movie. I just wanted Michael killing in this movie. And my issue with this movie is it got away from the Halloween formula. But again, he's not able to comprehend all this and see why it's there. He's just saying, I didn't like it.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
God damn it, Phil. God damn it, Phil.
But they all think he's Michael and they try to kill him. So essentially there's a side plot that has literally nothing to do with what's going on in the movie, saying, oh, you see, the townspeople are evil because they got so worked up in their own hatred that they would kill an innocent man. Okay? That's a whole side plot of the movie. It's completely superfluous. It's not entertaining. Doesn't teach you anything. It's just there to fill time. Okay? Then
I don't disagree with him. He's just being such a dick in how he explains it.
I don't disagree.
Two men who are, I guess, married, and
two men who I guess are married. That's great.
They're actually entertaining characters. You keep going back.
He liked Big John and Little John. Of course he fucking would. They were basically like the Jar Jar Binks 1 and 2 of this movie. Like, holy shit.
I hated them. They had way too much screen time.
They were the worst. There was nothing interesting about them. They were the worst people.
Wily trick-or-treater.
They could have had like a few minute segment. Hey, we scared off the kids, and then bam, Myers is in the back. You know. Like they scared off the kids, Myers in the back. Bam,
honestly,
that's
the kids that stole from them were more interesting characters, in my opinion.
Yeah, looking back, this movie really was a lot of filler. This movie really was just filler.
It was like they had 50 or 60 minutes of an actual story, and they had to fill it up with other kills, other characters that they'll just get rid of. It's like a slasher movie from the 80s where they have to have a big cast and they have to get rid of most of them by the end.
Yes.
Who are trying to fool them and steal all of their candy from their house, and then they're doing pranks to them and they're trying to deal with these trick-or-treaters. So they're kind of fun, interesting characters, okay? Michael comes and just murders them. And there's literally no rhyme or reason for it, except guess what? The house they own is Michael Myers' old childhood home.
So that's the reason. He's in their fucking house. God
that's probably
damn
the
it.
biggest reason. Like
he literally said there's no reason, but also they're living in his childhood home. Come on, dude. You asshole.
So you spend, I'm not kidding, probably in this movie 20 or more minutes out of a 90-minute movie. You spend almost a third of the movie with this couple, only for them to be slaughtered at the end by Michael Myers just because they're in his house. No real reason for it. Why did they?
There's no real reason for Michael to kill anyone. It's just what he does. That's the point of Michael Myers. Killing is what he does, Phil. But also, they were in his house.
Spend that much time on this couple because it's a filler movie. See, they needed all these filler subplots to fill time because they didn't have anything to do in this movie. It's a worthless movie. Then at the end, the plot is that in order to stop Michael Myers, okay, they need to lure him out of his childhood home into a trap. So what happens is, the daughter of Laurie Strode, the mother, the middle-aged.
Oh wait, did he just crack his knuckles? Let's hear it.
Strode,
God damn it, Phil! Right into the mic. Hey, Lefty, what's up, dude?
The mother,
haven't seen you in a bit. Lefty's in chat. Big ups, man.
Goes to this house where her daughter. If you can figure this out, I know because it's very hard to follow. The granddaughter leaves the hospital and joins one of the posse groups to go after Michael. Well, guess what? Michael kills them all. The DoorDash
orders are coming from inside the office.
Michael in this house together.
Yes.
But her mother shows up, and her mother fights Michael. And the whole trick is they're trying to lure Michael out of the house. So eventually they do, and they lure him down the street. And finally, like 2 streets over, all of a sudden, all of the town pulls up in their cars, and they get out with weapons. And Michael is in the middle of all of them, and he's got nowhere to go and nowhere to run. This is the one scene of the movie.
Glad you're enjoying your vacation,
like
Lefty.
Ultimate culmination. Wow. So the townspeople will get revenge for all the loved ones they lost, for the 40 years of torture. It's time for payback. While this scene goes on,
payback.
The family, the Strode family, Laurie Strode's still at the hospital. But the mother and the daughter, the granddaughter, I should say, basically kind of go.
Up,
like
Diablo,
the granddaughter, I think, is
darkness?
going off to get treated because she got hurt. So she's off to the hospital again or whatever. And then the mother goes back inside Michael Myers' house.
Call them by their names.
Why? I have no idea.
Yeah, like they say Karen's name like in
Laurie,
every
Karen,
scene.
Allison. Yeah. They say it quite often.
Laurie, Karen, Allison, and Ray. You even
when you have 3 generations, you need to specify who's who, like with names.
Phil.
I have no idea why she goes back there, but she goes back there. Okay. So then it's the town versus Michael, and everyone in the town destroys Michael Myers. They smash his legs, they break his back, they beat the crap out of him with all kinds of.
He just fucked up the plot a bit. Like, he said she goes back there while they're beating him up, but no, she does like the final stab.
Yeah, she goes back there after a bunch of people already die.
She's part of the mob. She goes back, like, while she's going back, Michael is like coming back to life. He fucked up the timeline on that.
He did fuck up the timeline on that.
Weapons, and eventually I think he gets shot, and then finally he's down. And that should be the end of the movie. But it's not, because this is the second movie in a trilogy. So
no, it's because he's Michael Myers and he cannot be killed. He factually cannot be killed. Go ahead.
I think he missed it. Like, I remember this because he was down. He was dead, heavy quotes around dead, while Laurie was doing this speech that he's not a man, he's driven by evil. And then he comes back. Like, it was like, that's the whole point.
That's the movie explaining he cannot be killed because he's not a mortal man. Like,
that's what he loved about Barbarian. It's explaining Myers' powers to him.
And from what I've read in Thunder, you mentioned it. From what I've read, Jamie Lee Curtis in this movie made everybody go out of their way to explain everything for what she thought the themes of this movie were going to be. And that's it right there. And it goes right over Phil's head, even though they deliver it to him twice.
They have to completely negate anything that just happened in that movie that would have any value.
I don't know.
Any value.
God, no, that's all I can say. Is,
no
God
words.
Damn it, I'm just shaking my head like Krigler.
Okay, let's go.
I'm shaking my head.
Is they do exactly the same thing that they did with the scene with the firefighters. Michael Myers gets up, and out of nowhere, all the townspeople vanish. All of a sudden, the camera shots are just one-on-one shots of Michael killing each person in the town in a row. No one teams up. No one tries to stop him. It's just one single murder, one single murder, one.
No, he's confusing like shot framing for the people vanishing. Did you notice how he said all the other people left and they just fight him one-on-one? He doesn't understand that like a close-up shot is what you do for a movie kill, you know?
Well, first off, like it was probably a good shot in my opinion. I loved it. It was good.
That was a well-shot scene.
Second, they took down Michael using the same tactics. They went in one by one with like weapons, taking him down, and it worked. Now you see this guy who got shot like 20 times and beat the hell out of and stabbed. He gets back up. You would be shocked and then try to go in one by one again. You know, it worked the first time.
Yeah. He wants them to just kill Michael, and that's not what these movies have ever been about. With the killing of Michael Myers, like
one single murder, all framed so you can only see the two people in the shot. It's a complete waste of time. It's really like this whole movie.
I actually think that scene was one of the best parts of the movie.
I can't believe they made it. I can't believe I watched it, and I can't believe they charged money to see it. It's like, why does it exist? Halloween Kills Time is exactly correct. It's 90 minutes of wasted time to say, hey, we wanted a trilogy, but we really didn't have anything to fill a second movie, so we made up an idea.
Darkseid to Flow in chat. Phil's upset because Michael is a puzzle boss.
Because he has to come back for the third one. So what were they thinking? I have no idea besides money. If we make a trilogy, people will see the second.
So he's basically saying don't make trilogies then. He's basically being like, well, you can't kill the main characters because it's a trilogy. So like, why do anything, Phil? Why do anything?
When it will make extra money. It was a horrible movie. So just so you know, for the big cliffhanger ending, all right, not only does Michael kill pretty much half the town in this scene, which makes no sense because again they never show they never show him fighting more than one person at a time.
They didn't kill
then he goes back to his childhood.
There was like a dozen people in that mob. It wasn't that many people. It was like
how big does you think a town is?
Yeah. It was like 10 firefighters and like a dozen people in that mob, plus 5 or 6 others along the way. Maybe 25 people this entire movie.
You saw hundreds of people in that mob at the hospital scene, then 12 people attacking Myers, and it's like the whole town's dead. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, that's not. Again, I think his brain is like fundamentally not understanding that like a dozen people does not equal town, you know?
House, and inexplicably, oh look, the daughter of Laurie Strode is still there for no fucking reason, and he goes there and he stabs her, and that's the end of the movie. Now, the big ending that's supposed to get you pumped for the third movie is that it ends with Laurie Strode storming out of the hospital with a big butcher knife in her hand saying, I'm gonna kill Michael. And that's it. Now, there's other plot lines as well. Like, for example, I guess what they're trying to emphasize now is that Michael Myers never wanted to go kill Laurie Strode in the first movie. That was the doctor from his institution who drove him to her house to try to get a reaction out of him and make him go crazy or something. It's...
I mean, yes. That was... Yes.
Kind of convoluted in that way. At the same time, it doesn't really matter. Like I said, this whole movie could have completely been a skip. And there's other issues in this movie as well. Some of the shots are terrible. Like I said, I don't like the single shots. Why does it doesn't make sense. You're fighting 20 people. The best shots in the movie.
Yeah, honestly, the two fight scenes, the firefighter fight scene and the street fight, are very well done.
Like he wants to see the Matrix happen. Like with Neo fighting multiple agents at the same time.
He wants the burly brawl. He wants the burly brawl from the Matrix, and he wants them to kill Michael. Like, that's what he wants, and that's never what this movie was going to be, dude.
No, well, Michael would be Neo, like in this case, so he would come out on top easily.
God.
No, but he's so dumb.
Yeah, like, he doesn't, like, he is the reason for the Disneyfication of everything. He is the reason why movie studios feel the need to tie up all the loose ends, explain everything, and leave nothing to chance because of motherfuckers like him, you know? Because he's never satisfied with anything unless they tie up everything in a neat little bow like Barbarian did.
Person at a time to easily kill them. There's no sense there. It's like, it's nonsensical. Some of the shots are too dark. A lot of the shots are outdoor shots, and they're filmed so darkly you can't tell what's going on. I'm sorry.
I was watching them on a very good monitor, and I could see everything. Like, your shit's busted, man. Like,
I watched this on my phone, and it looked fine. Like, this seems like a user error like experience, like anything else.
It's an actual skill issue because I watched this on the same monitor that I'm like watching this video on, and it was fine.
But when I watch a movie, I actually want to see what's happening in the fucking
Banana
movie.
Jones says urban style shots. That's right. They were too dark,
and I can't see half the shit. Okay, so what I would say is the pros of the movie. There's some gory
and Devilish Face points out he's still using an iPhone 6. Well, there's your problem.
Flick, you want to see some original kills.
I think I have an iPhone 6.
And the head count is
do you?
But the problem is the head count is dumb because it's always one on one.
Look.
Hey, man, phones haven't changed very much in the past 10 years. They really haven't.
I'm just a cheap bastard with my phone. I'm going to use it until it fucking dies.
I'm a bit of a Samsung Galaxy snob, so I buy a new one of those every few years.
Sorry. iPhone 7.
See, there you go. Even Decepticon has a 7. There we go.
One fights when it never should be. If they actually made Michael look like a badass, like, oh, he's fighting 3 firefighters at once and kicking their ass, I'd be like, wow, this is great. But they didn't even bother.
Wait, so his qualm is the choreography. He was like, oh, the choreography with Michael butchering everybody wasn't that good. I actually really liked it.
What is he going to mention for the good? There's like good shots, especially the fireman scene when you're like inside their helmets when like the fucking axe is coming.
Oh yeah, the first person POV shots were fucking cool, like really good.
There's good shots, but it's not gonna mention it. Oh, like when the mental patient like jumps, you see from his perspective when he's
with his hands stretched out. It's a great shot.
There's like good shots, but he's talking about some good shots and saying they're shit. I'm just curious what he thought was good about the movie.
Yeah, like it seems like he didn't like it at all.
With that, they didn't want to. They just framed all as single kills, and it was a waste of everyone's time. What a horrible movie.
No.
Now I'm gonna be honest. I liked Halloween 2018. I thought it was good, but not great. This movie I thought was atrociously bad. Like, I don't know how you could get worse. Honestly, I don't know. The only way that they could get worse is if there's
you could always be worse.
Ends. They name a movie Halloween Ends and it doesn't end. That would be the worst possible ending, I think.
Guess what, Phil? It doesn't end. It does. He's already gonna hate Halloween Ends because it doesn't end in the way he thinks it ends because it's a Halloween movie. Fuck.
So hopefully it does end and Halloween ends, or else they fucked up really bad. But this movie, man.
So that's his criteria. That's his criteria. The story must end and Halloween ends. Fuck you.
It's like when he titles the stream like the end of drama. The drama ends.
Yeah.
It is the last time I'll address it, and then he just keeps bringing up his issue with drama is like a slasher who won't die.
Yes.
He can't complain about
his drama never ends. Rest in peace, Attica. Judgment begins.
I was super disappointed after seeing the 2018 one, and I hope that that comes back somehow in the final of the trilogy, because I can't believe how bad this one was. Wow. And I didn't even know that, because I guess people infamously don't like this movie, which I didn't know.
I feel like we were about to get a yikes there. That was like very close to him just saying yikes. Oh.
I was going into this trilogy. I had no idea the movie was that bad.
Drama dies tonight.
Yes, Ludwig, big ups. Yeah, really drama dies tonight.
So, Halloween Kills, 2 thumbs down. If you can avoid it, just skip it. I mean it. You
could probably skip this movie
thumbs, and just watch
way
Halloween
down.
And Halloween Ends and not watch Halloween Kills, and you wouldn't care because nothing happens in the movie. It's a complete waste of your time.
No, I think this movie's worth watching because it is a direct continuation of Halloween 2018. I feel like you would be lost.
That's a fair statement to say, hey, don't watch this at all. But don't say, don't watch this, just go watch Halloween Ends. That's fucking stupid as fuck.
Yeah.
All right. So real quick, I gotta jump because life commitment.
Sure.
This movie sucked. Phil, you're a fucking idiot. Jamie Lee Curtis, whatever creative input you put into this movie, I loved you in the originals, but you hurt this movie. Thank you. Good night, everyone. Have a good day.
Bye, Thunder. See ya. We're gonna wrap it up in a couple anyway. So
don't watch it. That's my review of Halloween Kills.
This though.
Yeah.
You can't. There's actually some plot in here. Yeah, there's a lot of filler, but there's actually a little bit of plot.
I think if you're gonna watch this trilogy, it's worth watching. This movie is worth, like, it's not good, but it's worth watching in the context of the trilogy.
That you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you for more horror reviews this month, and as well as the Halloween Ends review in a week or two. Thanks, and I'll see you then.
Thanks for watching.
As you hear the fan going, you hear him
and
clicking.
The mouse clicks. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think it was a bad Halloween sequel to 2018, but it wasn't a bad slasher, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the slasher parts were cool. I thought the kills were kind of amazing.
It had some it was an okay slasher with some good kills.
Yes.
But it was a bad sequel.
Yes. It didn't build on the story of Halloween as it should have been. That's pretty much it. Where Phil is saying it's atrociously bad, I don't know. It's not that. There are worse horror movies to watch for sure.
There. I think it was a bad sequel. They had to add a lot of filler. I think it was a 60-minute plot that they had to stretch out to be almost 2 hours. That's what killed them.
This could have gone as like a 70-minute straight to video thing, and it probably would have been cool if you cut some stuff out of it. But they're not going to do that for Halloween.
Yeah, I think they realized this when a 10th of the movie or maybe a 7th of the movie was a flashback. They realized, oh fuck, we don't have enough of a plot to make this a full movie. People are expecting almost 2 hours, like the last movie,
Yeah, they can't just retread that first movie's plot again. That's not going to happen. But yeah, I mean, I'm liking watching the Halloween movies with you guys so far, but Phil is just way off base when he says skip it. That's not how trilogies work.
Yeah, no, I like the concept of bringing the town together, having this collective trauma, and them teaming up against Myers. Bring in Tommy, Lonnie, all these other people who've had their past experiences, while then Laurie and everyone else has been injured. That I think that's a cool concept. They just fucked it up.
Yeah, they didn't stick the landing. Well, I think that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for coming by, Decepticon, and I also would want to thank Thunder for coming by. He had a commitment. He had to jump. Let's see. Is anybody else up right now? Let's see. I don't. No one else. Nope. There's no one. There's only us. There's only us.
send them to the DV waiting room or something.
Yeah, I could. I could just set the redirect for the DV waiting room, so you guys have that, so you can push notify for.
Do me a favor and spam late when you get there, please. That'll help immensely.
I am setting up the redirect now, and as soon as that is ready to go, all right. So detractor beam. Yep. All right. So you're gonna redirect to detractor beam. Bye everybody. Thanks for coming out, and thank you Decepticon. We'll do another one of these. Maybe not. Well, so next week I'm gonna not be home. Next weekend I'm gonna not be home, so that's gonna make it a bit weird. But we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Now, why do I need to bring this up? All right? Because tomorrow's my day off. I got 2 big bills due this week. Everything all at once. Who? 2 big bills. Chill. Give her a pill. I got 2 big bills. The electric bill. I got 2 big bills. The internet bill. I'm reliant on chance to pay all my bills.